Hello and welcome back to Seaside Garage. This is an old friend of the channel, the legendary 106 Rally. But this video is not about this one. But working on this has reminded me about the Renault Clio Grand Prix that I fixed up quite a few years ago. So I think it's time to do another revival video. This video will be compiled of lots of old videos. There will be a playlist up here. In September 2021, I bought a project, a non-finished project. It was actually a runner, which is not normally the case on my channel, but it was running. It had a lot of rust that needed to be fixed. Some of the rust were already fixed by Morten, who I bought it from. It was mainly stuff that I'm working on the Rally actually. Sills and inner wheel arches that needed to be fixed. But let's start at the beginning. Here it is. This was the first real look at the Renault Clio Grand Prix. Renault Clio 1.8 16 valve Grand Prix. Let's take a look at the car a bit more in details and look at what I know needs to be fixed. And maybe we can find some more stuff. It's really nice to sit in this car because it reminds me so much about the Renault 5 GT Turbo that I owned. Of course it's more modern and I'm pretty sure that it's wider. I haven't checked that, but the cabin feels a lot wider than the Renault 5. Other than that, it got a bit of the same smell. The materials are a bit better quality, it feels like, but it's still the same colors. And it's easy to see that this is a development from the Renault 5. Let's take a better look at the engine. Here we have the engine. I'm just gonna put some power to it. And then let's start it up so you can hear it. Well, maybe I should pull it out of gear. That was a bit embarrassing. Lucky I can just cut it out. Let's try to start the car. Like that. It sounds a bit tappety, but I think that is down to the hydraulic lifters. This car has not run for that much the last few years. I'm having an issue with hesitation when I give it throttle. It is responding quite slowly. Let's shut it off. So a general service on this engine is of course necessary, and also some sensors need to be changed. And I don't know when the cam belt has been changed last, so I'm not going to take any chances. I'm going to change that as soon as possible because I'm also going to move the car in and out of the garage very often, so it would be nice to actually fix that. A snap cam belt is really a big deal on an engine like this. It could look like a bit of a project to change the cam belt. There's not a lot of space, but yeah, we'll find out. And then there is all the rust. There is this side. Not a lot, but there is some. And then of course down here in the rockers, I'm gonna have to do a lot of work. But I'm actually not too worried about this side. It doesn't seem as bad as I was fearing. Right there it looks really bad, but it is actually stopping not that high up. And down the line it seems to get better and better. He only cut it up until here. I think I'm going to have to cut it up further in. Right now you can see more than I can see, but I think it would be nice to cut it completely open and fix it. This side Morten has fixed up pretty much. The entire panel has been changed. It is a big deal. Not a big deal, but you cannot get the right panel because it widens out down here. So you take the standard one and cut it open and force it into shape. I think it looks like that Morten did a pretty nice job. It's at least nicer than what I'm able to do, I think. He has also fixed a lot in here. I have seen pictures of this before it was welded up, so I know how it looks. I think it looks fine. Of course, you could dress it up more if you like, but it is not something you can see. He actually also almost was finished with the rear wheel arch. Unfortunately, he welded it on in a wrong position. Therefore, he cut it off again. It needs to be a little bit lower. This I am a little bit worried about because I have not cut it apart, and putting it back together is going to be a bit of a challenge, I think. But I'm also looking really much forward to trying it out. So yeah, that was a bit of a closer look at the Renault Clio. This is gonna be a cool project. When working on cars like these, sometimes it helps me a lot to just clean up my workspace. If the job gets a little bit complicated, then just stop for a minute and clean up, and then go from there. That can sometimes help a lot. And on the Clio, I did the same thing. I started by just cleaning the car, cleaning the engine bay, and that engine bay really cleaned up nicely. That was where I started and got some motivation to fix the rest of the car. Hello and welcome back to Seaside Garage. I'm gonna get started using some degreaser. Just put it on the dirty areas and use a brush to loosen up the dirt. And then using a piece of cloth or a microfiber towel or something like that, I can just take all the dirt away like this. And now it looks a lot better already. And this car really cleans up nicely. Making these videos is a lot of fun for me also, because it felt like yesterday that I owned and fixed up the Clio. But watching those videos, a lot of stuff has happened in the garage and all around. So it's a lot of fun to just see that. The Clio was honestly a very big challenge for me on the rust department. There was a lot of stuff that I learned on that car. And especially my rust fixing skills were improved quite a lot doing that car. And it opened up the doors a lot for the future projects, because that's the main problem in Denmark. Unless you buy a very expensive project car, it will be rusty. Hello and welcome back to Seaside Garage. This piece, yeah, should go here. It's not that it's that bad, but it is rusty in here. So what I have already done, and I actually cheated a little bit, is to make a new panel. I just cut a piece a bit oversized. This fits pretty well right now. I need to transfer all the mounting holes for the, I think it's the inner liner and the front bumper. I will do that when it's in place, because then I can measure from the edge of this and get them right, I hope. So what I'm going to do now is to make the piece that goes down here and continues on from here and down here. And it is welded to the other piece that I made right here. So I made the piece of paper into metal, 0.8 millimeters. Now I'm going to make a bend, and then I'm gonna try to form it into a rough shape at least, and then cut it into size later on. I think I can just bend it up. Oh, it seems to work nice. Ta-da! So I'm thinking that it's about time to check it. I have been checking it while bending it, and I think I got the shape pretty much where I want it now. This is it. The pieces are fitted. I still need to do some more welding to make it a bit more neat, and some more grinding. I'm just working on multiple things today. I'm also working on the AZU. The biggest rust challenge on the Clio was definitely the sills, because I could buy replacement sills, but they were a little bit too long because it was for the 4-door, I think. And also the normal version don't have extended rear wheel arch like the Williams do, and you can't get those. So I had to do a lot of fabrication. And unfortunately, I didn't film all that much of it because I was at the limit of my skill set, and filming that at the same time was quite tough. But in the end, I got it all fixed up. Hello and welcome back to Seaside Garage. I cut a new piece of metal that I have been messing around with, and it should fit right here now. The bottom end is not cut to size just yet, but I will do that when it's attached. It's a bit easier, I think. So it's all welded up. Don't judge me too hard. So the welds have been grinded down. This is the old original panel. I have just grinded it down and removed all surface rust and treated it until here. It became too bad around here, so I have cut the panel out here up. You can see the seam because, once again, I haven't done a lot of work to conceal it. But it runs all the way up here. Then it actually goes underneath this structure, so I had to cut this structure out to fix this underneath, and also cut this part out up here, and then first make the inner panel, and then the outer panel again, and then a new piece of this. This was rusted away from here, I think, so I had to make a new panel. And as you can see, I have been using a hammer to make it into the right shape. It's not good looking, but it's very solid. Down here, I fixed a couple of holes in the floor, and then I changed the jacking mount. This was quite a big task, actually, because I bought this new jacking mount and it was nice quality, but the fitment was not very good. I actually had to cut it open and change the dimensions inside of here to make it fit, and also bend it a bit into place. And I think it's pretty normal for these to be not completely right shape when you get them. But now it seems to be all right. And yeah, I'm happy with it. And I cut this roughly and also painted the backside with epoxy primer because, yeah, that's important. But I cut it into rough shape of what I'm going for. But it doesn't fit at all because right around here, it needs to go out. So what I'm thinking about doing right now is to mark this up. It should fit pretty good right here. So this is going to be time consuming, of course, because it's a fully weld and I'm gonna do it slow, not to distort too much. Comes from in there and up here. Spot, 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 all the way. And with the rust done, I also painted the repairs. It actually turned out pretty nice. But unfortunately, I don't have a whole lot of material from that part of the repair. So the next bit will be all the small bits. The exhaust needed to be changed, and the cam belt, and just a general service. I got that engine to run really, really well in the end. But as always on project cars, there's just a whole lot of small bits in the end. Getting the car back together, putting the headlights on and all that. A lot of work. Hello and welcome back to Seaside Garage. Oh, this is just the most beautiful camshaft cover I've seen. This looks so nice. They line up and they line up. I am looking forward to making this car look like a car once again. Yeah. making this Clio look like a car again. It's just such a great feeling. Especially since that I sold my daily driver. Yep. I have a brand new system lying right here that I'm gonna fit. But I got it all sorted in the end. And then came the MOT and the car just flew right through that. And then I got a new daily and that car was really a joy to drive. Hello and welcome back to Seaside Garage. Possible to drive very quickly on these roads at the moment because after the storm, we had a couple of storms lately. There is just trees and debris. I just drove past a plastic garden table, and there is a lot of water on the road everywhere. And being a French car, I don't really want to dip it in water. Let's try a quick north to the speed limit. The gear knob fell off. Good road. Speed limit. As most of my cars, I owned that car for I can't even remember, maybe half a year or something like that on number plates. And then I ended up selling it to buy a new project. I think it was the Trabant that I bought and needed some money to fix up. So I sold it in the end. I still have contact with the new owner. He's still enjoying it. I still miss it. I very often struggle not to try to buy my own cars back because I know there was a reason why I sold them. I was finished with them. I am really into the revival and I really rarely keep cars for long. Maybe it was a bit new to me. I like the more rawness of the 80s hot hatches. And I did come from the Renault GT Turbo into the Clio. And the Clio was a lot nicer to drive, but the Turbo was just a lot more tense and exciting. But the Clio, what a car, and it wasn't even the Williams. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. I am planning to try to make revival videos of all the cars that I fixed up in the past because it's a lot of fun to make the videos and to see that again. Remember, there is a playlist for all these. You can find them in my library. I think the Clio revival consists of 15 videos or something like that. There is a couple of hours of watching that if you want. It will just be what you have just seen, just in much more details. But this is sort of like just a recap of the entire experience. Thanks for watching. Remember, you can support me on Patreon. There is a link below, and see you in the next one.